wash the camera?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Try not to rock me, okay?
Want your stuff?
I'm gonna do it little bits at a time.
Want some yarn?
I'm gonna get things out when I need it, okay? Thanks, buddy. Okay. Hi, everybody, and welcome to episode 93 of the This Old Knit podcast. I am your host, Nina, otherwise known as Ine, on Ravelry, Instagram, and Pinterest. And you can find show notes for this episode and all previous episodes on the corresponding thread of the This Old Knit podcast Ravelry group. So it's been a while. So how are you all doing? I am doing better. We spent about 3.5 weeks just getting the house ready to list, and it was a ton of work. As soon as I got home from work, I was just cleaning and doing lots of stuff until it was time to go to sleep and start all over again. And it was miserable and terrible, and yeah, not something that I care to repeat. My lighting is really weird today because it is raining outside and then getting sunny and rainy and sunny. It's super humid, so there's actually steam coming off of our roof here over the porch. It's crazy. It's gross outside.
Kara!
But
Picture!
We're taking a video right now. But we can't open the windows anyway because the people who bought our house, because we did sell our house.
No, you're fine, not. No, you're fine,
are doing a radon test.
Puppy.
And we do have a radon mitigation system.
No, you're fine,
Okay. Sorry, we do have a co-host this week because he was really sad about me being upstairs and he would not stop crying. So I told him he could just come up here. So anyway, they're doing a radon mitigation or radon test, which our mitigation system should be taking care of that, but you're not supposed to be cycling the air in your house while you're doing that test. So until it's done, we can't open windows and we're not supposed to open doors for longer than just the time that it takes to go outside and leave or come back in. So yeah, it's probably good timing that it's rainy and gross and humid. So I did have a couple of giveaways that I meant to draw for last time. Yes, Joshua?
I find a wild cat, but he's dead now. But he's not dead.
Yeah, the animal you found in the other yard, the dead animal.
Yeah, it was a cat, but it wasn't dead.
You think it was a cat?
Yeah, it wasn't dead, but it was.
Sissy said she thought it was a bunny or a groundhog.
No.
Why do you think it was a cat?
A cat was there, but it was silk and walk, but now he don't. Sissy told me a cat was dead.
Okay, well you can check it some other time.
Or
go ask Sissy if it was a cat or a bunny or a groundhog. She probably knows. I didn't see it. Alright, then you need to scoot back so that people can see.
I can see too.
Well, but I can't see. And that's important.
There. Now you're
There you go. You don't want to see yourself? Alright, why don't you just cuddle up and go to sleep?
I blanket.
I don't have it's too hot. We don't need a blanket. You're already in a hoodie and like insulated pants. It's sort of ridiculous, buddy. Okay. So I had a 1,000 subscriber giveaway, and I was giving away a Ravelry pattern, $10 US value or less of the winner's choosing, and I did random number generator today, and the winner was Allison Rose Boom. So if you can contact me on Ravelry, I will arrange for your pattern. Then I also had my 3-year Podiversary giveaway, and that was for a copy of the Something Wicked mitts by Kristen Lehrer. She very generously donated a copy to me. I test knit these mitts, and I will show them later in the podcast. What are you doing? Oh, you giving me a little sticker? Okay, don't put any of those on the wall or windows. No, thank you. They go on paper. Just paper. I do not want to peel any more stickers off anywhere. She put them on her rocks, which is also okay. Okay. So thank you, Kristen, for donating that lovely pattern. And the winner was Jane BG1923, which is Jessica.
What about this rock?
No, don't put it on that rock, because that one is really, really tiny. Find a bigger one to put it on.
Oh.
So those were the winners. I already drew winners last podcast, and I haven't sent any of those prizes out, so I apologize for that. Like I said, we have been so busy. I have not had time to do anything except for getting the house ready. But now that that is pretty much done, Monday is our inspection, and once we're past that, then yeah, that's kind of the last hurdle. So we're hoping that everything goes well with that, and that then we can just, you know, move forward.
My name is Worm. My
His name is Worm. I think that's a little snake, just like the one we saw outside.
I is snake.
A little garter snake.
My name is Snake.
Your name is Snake.
I want the name.
Oh, you're gonna put it on the snake?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I have a couple of FOs to show you today, some whips, and some acquisitions. So I'm going to go ahead and move into that, and then at the very end I will give you an update on where we're at with house stuff. Beyond what I've already said, I do have a ton of video that I took. I took before and after video of each room as we cleaned through them, and then I also have the pictures that the photographer took for our listing for our house. So I think I'm going to do a separate video for all of that. Some of you did say you were interested, but I'm not sure that everyone is, so I don't want to put it in, you know, this episode and potentially, you know, people are bored or whatever. So, and it's enough that it really could be its own episode.
It won't say save.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe that's not the right place to put it, and this needs to not go on the carpet. How about you just put it on paper, because they're supposed to be for paper. Okay? Thank you.
Oh.
Okay, so FOs. The first FO that I have to share with you is a pair of mittens. I don't remember if I had these started last podcast or not. I think I did.
How about shoe? You say on shoe.
Okay, sure. But I did finish them, and I finished them pretty much right after I recorded my last episode. So they are the Selbu mittens by Ellie of the Skein Knits podcast. She is Skein on Ravelry and Instagram. And this is the last set that I needed to do from the Selbu Mitten Club. I have now knit all of the mittens that are part of that mitten club. And I think I have knit all of my mittens I need for the year-long mid-along. I have all my children up here now. That's awesome.
No, it's not.
It is, Megwin. You're fine. As long as you're not going to mess with me, that's okay. You guys can't fight, or you both have to go down.
No, Sissy gotta go down.
No, you don't. Just be nice, and then nobody has to go down. Okay. It's all over your face. Were you eating?
It's also used on my pancake or your leftover pancake.
Oh, okay. So there they are. There's some stickers from Joshua. Okay, so I knit them on size 6 needles. There's the thumb. They're really like glowing because the sun just came out now from behind a cloud. As with all of the mittens from the Selbu Mitten collection, they are written very clearly. They're pretty easy. These, I would say, were actually a little bit harder because they have longer floats here. in the middle of the hand. So I actually switched which yarn was dominant. So I switched which hand or which yarn was dominant just on those parts so that I would have not too long of floats. And this mitten is not blocked. This mitten is blocked. You definitely can tell the difference. You also can tell a little bit that color dominance thing, but I think that will block out pretty well. And I don't really care if it doesn't. It's not huge. But there you go. So I do like them. The yarn was really nice to work with. I think he's downstairs.
This is Monkey Glitter Eyes, and I got her at school, and she costed $1. She cost $1.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You want me to hold it closer?
Yeah. I'm starting a Glitter Eye toy collection, and that's one of them.
Okay.
I have a few more.
Okay. Show me the rest.
This is a dragon who also has glitter eyes, and there's a heart tag where you can see her name.
Do you remember where you got this one?
Yes.
Where?
Grammy bought me this at the store.
No.
Oh, right. That was the other one.
Where did this one come from?
This one came from Connecticut.
That's right.
Mom bought it for me, and her name is Sapphire.
Yep. I got it at the airport in Connecticut.
It's backwards in the camera, but...
Yeah, it shows up right when I put it in my computer. It flips it around.
When Mom puts it on her computer, it'll be the right way.
Yep. Why are you talking all weird?
And this is a piggy that Mom made for me.
Grammy made that one, actually.
Grammy made this for me.
Uh-huh.
Here are the legs, and these are the little feet, the dark pink parts. This is the body. These are the ears, which are also dark pink. This is the nose. Those are the nostrils.
Yeah. You want to show its curly tail?
Those are the eyes. And
pretty
this
cute.
is its very curly tail.
Cool.
And now I have this. It's a flying tooth pillow.
Oh, did you find
and there's a little pocket for it. You open it up and you put teeth inside. The tooth pillow has a little smile, 2 little eyes.
Hold it up so Sissy can talk about it.
Bubby, not that way, the other way.
Talk about its pocket.
I already did. It has a pocket. You can put your teeth in it. And this is the part of the tooth that attaches to your gums. And these are the part of the teeth that you chew with.
No, the opposite. These attach to the gum.
That's the opposite.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of upside down. And
these are the roots.
These are meant to be legs, and this is meant to be its head. Down like little hills.
Okay.
Bubs.
So those mittens were knit out of Voyager Yarn Company Tahoe.
No, Bubby! You nearly knocked the bed over.
In the light
No!
base.
I'll trade you for the bracelet.
This
Oh, I have another
is 100% wool.
I have another
This
monkey.
color is white. And the other one I think is medium gray. I don't have the tag for that. This is the white one.
Remember.
I finished my washed out shawl by Hohi Locatelli. I knit quite a bit of this while I was traveling back and forth to Connecticut. I knit this out of 2 colors of Volan Vine yarns and 1 color of Moonstone Dye Works. So the first section was the Evil Queen. Okay, this is the day of total distractions, and I'm really sorry. We're gonna make it work. Alright, so my first color was the Evil Queen in the blitzed base, which you can't see the glitter, but it is there. So it is these really lovely charcoal grays, reds, lavender, and kind of some very light creamy gray colors. So there's garter sections and then this open lace section. This one that's right there of garter, I blended in the second color of Wool and Vine Yarns in the blitzed base, which was Amrin. That was her Court of Thorns and Roses club, and I can't remember the name of the club now, I'm sorry, but it's a really pretty color. So I noticed that the blending didn't really show that much, and I was worried about my second color. I did not need to be at all, so let me see if I can pull out the extras, because for those of you wanting to knit this shawl who are worried, the pattern says you have to have 460 yards of your second color, and Hohi says in the pattern that she used every bit of hers. I don't know what I did differently, but here's what I had left of my second color. It's a lot. And the blitzed base, I think, has 420 yards. So you probably could get away with a 400 yard skein and be totally fine, because I think this is at least 20 yards. This is probably more like 40 or 50 yards that I had left. So don't worry about it. I did not blend the yarn all the way through on this section, which you really were supposed to, but it's also a very small section. So I think even if I had done that, it would not have eaten up significant yarn. So I did start blending for a little bit before I did this section. And then this section I was completely all Amrin. And then this section is also all Amrin. This section is Amrin and the Moonstone Dye Works, which is Stardust.
I want to make it for Sissy.
And then the last section is just Stardust, and it's this really pretty lace pattern.
Peter can make it.
And then you do a picot bind off.
Peter can make your sweaters.
We will make a lot of sweaters, buddy. We need a lot of sweaters for Connecticut. So it's going to be really pretty.
You?
Yeah, I'll do some.
And one for Daddy, and one for Bubby, and one for Sissy.
Okay. So this picot bind off is going to be super. Not right now. I'll do some later. Once it's all blocked, it's going to be really, really pretty. So anyway, that picot bind off goes for days and days and days and days and days and days and days. There we go. So this thing is huge and it's not blocked yet, so it's going to be gigantic. But there it is. I really, really love.
No, I tried to shippy toes.
Oh, okay. But your shippy toes are making it so I can't show my thing. I really like my color progression. I love how they blended together. This was a very, very fun, very easy knit. So if you are thinking about making a shawl and you want a fairly easy one to do, even if you were new to knitting shawls, I think this one is very accessible. So again, it is the Washed Out Shawl pattern by Hohi Locatelli. It's one of her newer patterns that she's released, and I highly recommend it. So as you can see, like, it takes forever to wind it up. So it's really long. Okay. So those are my two FOs. Good. Thanks, bud. And then for whips, one of the things that I worked on, since I mentioned it, is the Something Wicked mitts. And I had to go back and rip back this mitt because Kristen actually made a modification to the pattern where after you rejoin
Sissy, I can be a baby.
So there is my Something Wicked mitt with all of my ends woven in. So I really like it, and I used the modification for extra stitches for more comfort on the thumb. I think it was like 4 more stitches that I picked up there. She does have it written in the pattern. If you want to add additional stitches, it's very easy, and she walks you through all of it. Because when I was testing it, it was kind of too tight, so she went back and added that for those who need it. So on this one, I had already knit all the way up to the top and bound off, and I just needed to do the thumb, but I ripped back to here and did that thumb modification on this mitt, and I really am happy that I did, because it's going to fit so much better, and it wasn't that hard to rip back, really. So all I have to do is bind off on the top and then add my thumb. But as you can see, I started binding off, and then because I had ripped back and added, this is what I had left of my pre-cut yarn. So I have to join the ball to finish my bind off, and then, you know, bind off the thumb. But I have a lot of yarn left, so this is what I've got left of the ball. I'm using Wool and Vine Yarns Smitten DK in the A Hint of Moss colorway. Keep having to pause because children. So Something Wicked mitts, they should be done really soon. They're purely not done just because of my own, like, traveling and crazy.
I can make my car.
Okay, well, go. I don't think we have Play-Doh right now.
No, we have a yacht pail from Granny's house.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll do it when we go to Grammy's.
Oh, I see we got the house store. I see we were. Yeah, I told you we have a yacht pail.
Okay.
Where we can build.
All right, buddy. Can I do my stuff?
I have to watch you.
Okay, if you're just gonna watch me, that's fine.
If I
Okay.
look for
Here, do you
stuff.
want to look at your books?
Hey, what about my superhero?
Those are right there. There's 2 of them.
Oh,
Both right there.
they're in.
Okay.
In 11 books.
I don't have 11 books. I'm sorry.
Aw.
Okay. So next whip
Notebook.
is some socks for Megwin. So I'm trying to do more socks for her. She actually blew the heel out of one sock and has a hole in. Did you have a hole in another one? Might be a thin patch in another one.
Here.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you. That's perfect. Thanks, bud.
You need another one?
No, that's enough for me. Thank you. So I'm knitting these out of Knit Picks Fleechy. This is an older colorway called Gummy Bears. I haven't seen them reissue this one. It's been a while, but it does look similar to some of the other ones that they have more recently updated with.
Mommy, there will.
Okay, no more. That's enough.
Okay.
Thank you.
That was your one for buy cookies out work and buy money out work for me.
Okay.
But not work time. You know.
Yeah, it's not work time.
It's not work time. It works.
So I will say that this one, like the batch, is really muddy on the dye. But that's fine. They're just socks for Megwin, so they're gonna get all messed up. But I had to carpet clean because they're gonna do the inspection on Monday for showing the house. I had carpet cleaned the entire bedroom area of Megwin's bedroom that was not covered by her bed. But I also know they're going to want to look in the knee attics and things, so I had to move her bed, and underneath of it was a previous either ice cream or chocolate milk spill. There was a bunch of chocolate ground into the carpet, but I was able to get it all up with our little portable steam cleaner. So I did the rest of that today, just in the area where her bed was covering. So now her entire room has been carpet cleaned. Little aside, but now it's going to be wet for the rest of the day, so the kids can't be in there. So like I said, the dye really is, you know, all over the place on that one, but it's fine. It's just socks for Megwin and she doesn't care. And then I put in a purple sparkly heel. This is the rest of the mini that I used for her other pair of socks that I just finished with the my first Regia. So I have enough for 2 more heels. It's got a little progress keeper that I got.
More.
Why?
I can't see Bob Searcy more.
Okay, fine. It's a little progress keeper that I got from the Gilmore Girls Club from Adelaide Cottage. So it's an alarm clock from the Lorelai's Dream episode. The yarn was called Lorelai's Dream too. Okay, the other cast on that I newly cast on is the Weasley Homestead socks. I've made one other pair of these. I made them out of my Wool and Vine Yarns Chocolate Easter Bunny colorway, and I think Knit Picks Hawthorne in the Turkish Delight colorway. But this is Bad Wolf Girl Studios yarn in the Ginny Weasley colorway. It's on her sparkle base, and her sparkle base just has a ton of sparkle. Most of the time the sparkle doesn't show up, but you can see just how crazy sparkly it is because it's actually showing. And it's very soft. I've finished a cuff so far of the Weasley Homestead socks. Not much progress. I'm really not feeling it on the socks, but I am trying to finish the pair for Megwin. This reminds me that I'm doing the Hogwarts class cowl. I've mentioned it, I think, the last time, and it could be because I am not podcasting regularly, or maybe it's just not something you guys are into. So let me know. I'm co-hosting it with Meg of the Bad Wolf Girl Sits and Knits podcast. You have a chance to win prizes from both of our groups, but yeah, if it's not something you guys are into, that's perfectly fine. I'll just stop it and I'll enter my stuff over in Meg's group. But the idea was supposed to be that you do something Hogwarts themed, either around teachers, classes, students, what have you. It can be any object, any size, and yeah, I think the period of time was supposed to be 2 months. Yeah, because it'll be ending at the end of June. So yeah, just let me know what you guys think. The only person participating right now is Jessica, so if I keep going with it, she's gonna win something anyway. So if there's really nobody participating, there's no point in doing it. But this is from Stash, and this pattern I've knit multiple times, so I would consider it to be a shelf pattern as well. So it satisfies the stash and shelf components of my Stash or Shelf challenge. And then this is from Stash as well, and this is the Vanilla Bean pattern, which I've knit a million times, so that is definitely from Shelf. So Stash and Shelf there as well.
How about I rock for you for 10?
I don't want to rock for 10.
No, for 10.
Okay, I'm not sure what that gets you. Okay, I'm really trying to get through this, but I may have to stop and record more at a different time because the kids are just not, well, Megwin's cooperating, Joshua's really not. The next thing that I have on my needles is the Zweig sweater. It is a pattern by Boyland Knitworks, and I am knitting it out of some beautiful merino silk yak undyed, that's this color, and then some teacup from Hedgehog Fibers in the sock base. So I have finished all my color work on the top, and then I have separated for the sleeves, as you can see, and I am now working the body of the sweater. So you do lots and lots of these little X's. They're tiny cables, so they definitely can be worked without a cable needle. I had to do a little bit more straight before I could separate for the sleeves, and I hope it's not going to look weird because I didn't start the pattern. It doesn't call for you to until you actually have separated for the sleeves. So I'm just going to have that little portion that'll be straight stockinette. So this part I did not go up a needle size, but I probably should have. This I worked in a size 5, and then I did go up a needle size for this last bit because this is going to be a little bit more over my bust, so I need to have additional stretch. And I think it went pretty well. And so yeah, just miles and miles of this pattern until I finish the body, and then I'll be done. So I'm zooming away on that, and I'm thinking about casting on another sweater. I have cast on another sweater actually, but it's still out in the car from our road trip. So I will probably show that another time. But it is also all Harry Potter themed, and it is in all of Meg's yarn. So this is what I have left of my teacup. And probably not enough to do anything with. Maybe color work mittens I could do something with. So anyway, or scrap blanket. And then speaking of scrap blankets, the last thing that I have worked on is my glittery blanket of unicorns and magic. So I did get a lot done on this. And oops, my little bag now with all my pins. I also put on some pins from, this is from when I was a Rotary exchange student. So is this. And then that's my National Honor Society pin. Moonstone Dye Works, Full and Vine, Yarngasm, Yarngasm, Yarngasm. I have lots of Kristen's pins, and then I have a No Makers one to put on here, and I just haven't done it yet. Okay, so my glittery blanket has grown. I believe last time I showed it to you, I was on this color, which is a it was a mystery skein from Full and Vine Yarns. It is called Experiment in Blue number 4. It is the other contrasting color I used in my Bow Ties Are Cool MCal shawl. And I think it helps tone this one down a bit. This is Campfire from No Makers. So then I did this color, which is one I got from Rainbow Ange. And then I had another one I got from Rainbow Ange, which is like a brighter version of that. I think I actually did it this way. So I think I was here starting the blue. So yeah, that's the way it is. So I did all of that. And then I added this color, which is from my Gilmore Girls mini skein set. I'm not sure what color this is, but that's dyed by Shannon, who's the Yarn at Home mom. Then I went into a very beautiful No Makers colorway. And that transitioned very nicely into another No Makers. This is from leftovers from my friend Andrea. It is in the Maleficent colorway. And then I just joined on the Evil Queen, which is obviously from my washed out shawl. So I was going to transition to water sprites here, but I really hated it next to this color. I love the water sprites color too, so I didn't want it to just look gross. So this, I think, helps tone this one down a bit.
Mommy! Yuck!
Oh man, you monkeyed the crap out of him. Okay.
Got some stickers.
Yeah, he's got a lot of stickers. I like that. He's got a cute little belly. Okay. So I'm going to continue that probably all the way through the corner, just to, so I don't have a bunch of crazy changes there. It's fine, Megwin. You can just take them off later.
No! No! I don't want Sissy to take them
Okay,
off.
Sissy's not going to. She'll just... So I'm probably going to continue that color all the way down to this corner and around. Maybe to like here. Just so that I don't have a lot of extra colors here. because it got a little crazy there. Especially these colors. They're just kind of bright. But, I mean, I'm just going to have that. Like, I've got some scraps that are brighter and, you know.
My tablet.
Hey guys, so it's been a little bit, the kids were just too crazy. I don't even know what I talked about. I have a really terrible headache today. Allergies are kicking my butt, like big time. The cottonwood is starting to happen, and sadly we will not get away from that when we move to Connecticut, because it's a very common tree here in the eastern United States. It is one of the top 3 most common trees. So there's really nowhere we can go that we won't have it around, but hopefully I won't have one immediately in my backyard. We'll see. But I did want to talk about both acquisitions and my future knitting plans, because I have a couple of different things planned to cast on probably in the next month or 2. So I wanted to share some of those ideas with you. So one of my acquisitions I actually don't have to show you. I will show it next time, but it is the Bad Wolf Girl Studios yarn that I bought for my Harry Potter themed, or my Hogwarts class cal So Faded sweater. So I am now going to do that one in, was it 4 colors? I think 4 colors of Meg's yarn. So it'll start with Hedwig on the top, Gringotts the second one, Padfoot the third one, and the Leaky Cauldron for the last one. So it's all going to be these beautiful natural whites and grays and blacks. So I think it'll be a really nice neutral sweater that will go with a lot of things. So I can either wear it with like color, any color really, skirt or pants, and then of course with jeans. And since it's sock weight, it will feel nice in the spring and the fall, but also be good for the winter if I put like something warm underneath it. So that was my first acquisition. And then I bought a couple of patterns. So Hohi Locatelli excuse me, released a cardigan pattern called the Sparkle Cardigan, and it is an all over open lace cardigan, and I really like it. I believe it is top down, and I think it uses the contiguous shoulder shaping method. It must, because of the way the sleeve caps look. They don't look like raglan sleeves. I should have shut the bathroom door. It makes it hotter up here if the bathroom door is open, because there's not a vent there. Let me see if I can, so you can see the lace a little bit better there. It reminds me a lot of the lace that she used in the shawl I just finished knitting by her, the washed out shawl. Probably is that same lace pattern. If so, that is a very easy lace pattern to knit. So this will be a nice, very potato chippy knit. So for this, I am actually going to use my sweaters quantity of the Dragonfly Inn by Shannon, who is the dyer behind the Yarn at Home Mom. I have 4 skeins of this. She actually has it in her shop right now, so if you are interested, you can go and get yourself some skeins. I think she even has a sweater's quantity worth. But this colorway seriously is gorgeous, and I've had this for a while, and I've been waiting for the right thing to use it for. And I think this is the perfect application for it. So it is on a cream colored base, but it has just tons of different multicolored speckles. So it has blues and pinks and yellows and charcoal gray, black, magenta. Yeah, this is really good. So I think because that lace is just really simple, it will really let the yarn shine through on the design. So yeah, and I think it will match pretty much everything because of all the beautiful colors that it has in it. So I'm very happy that that pattern came out and that I have the perfect thing in the stash. And I have this on her sparkle base. It is, I think shimmer. Yeah, shimmer sock is what it's on. So, yeah, that's going to be the Sparkle Cardigan by Voyager Tahoe. And, sorry, I was eating some chips, so I have stuff stuck in my teeth. And then I bought the Sipala pattern by Caitlin Hunter, who is Boyland Knitworks. So it is a colorwork yoke, sleeves, and I thought it was also on the body, but I guess not. That's interesting. I may actually add a different color, or add this same color to the bottom, because the yarn I want to use for it, I'm not sure that I have enough of the two color to make it longer, and I do like my sweaters to be a bit longer. So I'm going to do the solid color in Bull and Vine Yarns Jilted Rose on her Strassa base. So it's a discontinued base. I've had this for a long, long time. I started my penny candy tea in it, which I ripped out. And so I washed and reskeined the yarn. So this one has been washed and reskeined. That's why it's got a weird tie on it, and it's slightly plumper and smaller. I never actually used this one, so you can tell it's like, this is classic Kristen tags. She used to have these before she had the wrap ones on it. So there you go, Strassa, Jilted Rose. It is 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. So 400 yards was the put up for these. And the Sipala cardigan for the long sleeve calls for 864 yards of color 1. And I only have 800, but that's okay. And then for color 2, it only calls for 216 yards. But I have a lot more than that. So I am going to use for that super, super deep stash. This is from 2007. It was a gift to me from my lovely friend Gwen and my friend Kara from the Bay Area when I moved to Ohio. And now that I am moving away from Ohio, I thought I probably should cast on with it. So it is Malabrigo sock in the Velvet Grapes colorway. So I believe this one has like 420 yards, and I just think it looks amazing with the Jilted Rose. So this is a beautiful pale mauve lavender color, and then this is a very deep wine grape, almost black cherry color, kind of all mixed together. It is a tonal, so there's some variation in there. But yeah, I think that's going to look so pretty. So I think what I'll do is I will do the color work, and then I'll go until this runs out, and then I'll just do some very long ribbing with this. So I could have a lot longer ribbing portion. I'm also not going to make it with all of the ease that it calls for. So it calls for, I think, 12 inches of positive ease. That's just not how I wear my clothing or my sweaters, so I'm not going to do that. So I think for, let's see, measurements given are for the finished garment. So I'm going to make the extra small, which seems kind of crazy to me because I am by no means an extra small, but the bust circumference is 42.5 inches. And my upper bust is 38, so I think that'll actually be really good. It'll have a slight bit of positive ease, but not as much as it calls for. And with that extra small, then I only need, like I said, the 864 for the color 1, 216 for color 2, and since I have double that, I should have plenty to do a nice long ribbing. So this just has a teeny tiny bit of ribbing. I'm going to make that like probably that long, and the contrast color. I think it'll look really pretty. If I got super fancy, I might even be able to take this part that's up here on the top, just those little diamonds, and put those along the bottom first before I go into the ribbing. I think that would really tie the sweater together, but we'll see where I go with it. So we'll see how far I can get on the body with the 2 skeins of Strassa that I have. Sorry if there's any noise downstairs. The kids are crazy. My husband's doing his best so I can finish this out. Yeah, oh my gosh, it's going to be so beautiful. I love this color so much. It smells like Tuft Woolens. I washed it in vanilla almond. I love that scent. Okay, and then Meg very sweetly included a bonus skein of yarn with my Gringotts yarn, and it's this one. I was like, do I have to give this away? Because I kind of love it. And she said, no, it's for you. So it is her Beauxbatons colorway, and it's the most beautiful buttery yellow with blue for the uniforms of the Beauxbatons. If you've seen the Goblet of Fire, Harry Potter, Beauxbatons is the French magic school, and all the students are wearing blue uniforms, and then they have like almost white blonde hair. I think this is supposed to be for their hair, and then it's got this really pretty burgundy in there as well. So this is a gorgeous color. I don't know what I'm going to make out of it, but isn't it pretty? I just wanted to sit and marinate for a while because it's like my favorite color. So thank you so much, Meg. That was very generous of you, and I love it. And then I have a lot of acquisitions because it's been like almost a month since I podcast. Tommy was having her anniversary, her 1-year shop anniversary. So happy anniversary, Tommy. So she's the dyer behind Moonstone Dye Works. So she put together a mini skein pack that was a birthday pack, and birthday party mini skein set. And I am actually running low on glitter skeins, glitter yarn skeins for my gibbon. So if anyone is interested in swapping for some glitter yarn, let me know, because I have tons of leftovers that are not on a stellina base that I would be willing to trade for your glittery leftovers. So the colors are Go-Go, Imbibe, Full Moon, Magical Creatures, and Chiffon. So I think this one is Go-Go, Imbibe, Full Moon, Magical Creatures, and Chiffon. That's how they go. I would love to have a full skein of chiffon, really any of them. This one reminds me a lot of I Will Always Find You, which I knit my honey pullover with, except for it's lighter, but it has those, what would you call that color? It's not burgundy. Like wine color, and the mossy greens, and then the very, very pale pink. So these are beautiful, and they are on the sparkle base. So those will go in my blanket. And then when I finished those mittens, I was at Tuesday morning to get a new welcome mat for our house before we were going to show it. And I picked up a couple more skeins of that Voyager Tahoe yarn. This is light gray, so it's just a super pale dove gray. But I really enjoyed knitting colorwork mittens with this, and it was very affordable. So I wanted to get all the colors they had, so these will definitely be some kind of colorwork mitten. Sorry, my throat's going wacky. And then Jilly, who's vegan Jilly, and who is the Knitting Broomstick on Etsy, she is having a D-stash in her Etsy shop. She's also a very talented bag maker, so go and check her out. yeah, and Jilly is just super sweet. So she was also part of the Yarn at Home Mom Gilmore Girls Club. I've already purchased one of her de-stash skeins in 21 is the loneliest number, so I can make my Sunset Highway pullover with that. But she also then put up for sale the Mocha Chocolate Caramel Swirlacino. And if you'll recall, when I got my version of this, I just was absolutely in love with that skein, and I said I wished I had two of them so that I could do a two skein project. I also think this would be really pretty in a sweater with like a brighter color. So if I did the body with this color and then maybe some brighter stripes with it. I don't know yet, but she had it on her de-stash, so I went ahead and grabbed the second skein because Shannon is not dyeing. She hasn't dyed any of the colors, I think, from that club. I'm trying to think if she has or not. I haven't seen any. So I'm not sure that she's planning on releasing any of those colors into the shop ever, so I didn't want to take that chance. And it also came with a Little Bitty Delights progress keeper that's like a tiny coffee cup. It's got a biscotti and like a little saucer. So I have this exact same marker on another of my projects. I can't remember which one. It's one of my shawls that's in progress. So now I have a second one, which I may gift to someone or I may save it for a prize. I don't know. And then Jilly also included a little bag of gingerbread green tea and a tiny mini. I don't know what this is a mini from, but I really like the colors. So that will definitely become a Hexie Puff. Really weird light. Okay, and then last but not least, I got my Strange Brew Yarn Club yarn from Kristen, who is Bull and Vine Yarns, or the dyer behind Bull and Vine Yarns. So if you are a member of the Strange Brew Club and for some reason you have not got your skein, look away now. I'm going to show the business card, and then when I take it away, I'm going to show you the yarn. And here it is. So this one is called Alchemy. I love it. It's almost like a brighter version of Angry Orchard. Isn't that fun? And I have been planning a peaches and oranges fade palette for something. So this one will actually fit really nicely into that. It's on the Volca base. I think this Strange Brew Club is going to be a mix of just all different bases. Can't remember for sure if that's true or if you had to pick which base you were going to get it on. I think I may have picked Volca because I have a lot of Kristen's sparkle yarn, but I really love her Volca for like sweaters, and I do want to make some more. Oh, that light is great. Make some more sweaters with Kristen's yarn. So I think I may have selected the Volca base. But it's going to be all one-of-a-kind colorways, and there will be 3 installments for it. And I have not missed one of Kristen's yarn clubs since she started doing them, I think. And I've loved all of them. So that is everything that I have purchased. Other than a house. So I will go into life stuff now. So if you are not interested in that, thank you for joining me and supporting the podcast, and I look forward to seeing you next time. And if you are interested, then let's go right into it. So, like I said, over the last couple of weeks, we were getting the house ready to show, and then we left for a week and went to Connecticut to look at houses. While we were gone, our house, I think we had maybe 11 people come look at our house, and we got an offer, I think on the third day after we listed it. We counter offered and they accepted our counter, so we were in contract for that one pretty quickly. And then we looked at houses in Connecticut, and the first day was terrible, like really, really terrible. So we saw a foreclosure, we saw like 2 houses that clearly they were owned by older people who maybe could not maintain them anymore. So like one looked like nobody had even been in the basement in years. There was like a spiral metal staircase going down, and like the railing was loose. My husband was walking on it and was shaking. And then the last one we looked at was okay, but the driveway was like a 45-degree angle, so it was like that, which is fine right now, but not in a Connecticut winter when it's super icy and snowy. So that was kind of like, And then when we got inside, everything was okay. And then we got into the basement and we opened up the cellar door, and there was just water, like just sitting everywhere. And our agent said it had not rained in weeks. So they clearly had a water issue on their foundation. And then we looked closer and we could see like they had dug out the middle of their basement to make like a kind of trench. They had like sump pump stuff hooked up, and we were just like, oh my God. And that whole night I went to bed and I worried and I thought about it, and I was texting with a couple people, and I was like, what have I done? Oh my God, I've agreed to move my family to a different place where we can't afford anything nice. It's going to be a huge downgrade in our standard of living, and I felt terrible, and my husband felt terrible. And so the next day we went to see houses, and they were better. They were a lot better. So the first place we saw had a very small yard, but it did have a pool, and the house itself was very nice, very modern, well taken care of. It was great. Then we saw another one that we're like, not really our thing. We saw one that was a little bit more rural, and it was smaller than our current house. We could have made it work, but it would have been a squeeze. I would have had to put most of my yarn in storage. I wouldn't have had a separate craft space or an office, which we kind of want because I do work from home, and I need to have that ability to have a separate space. But we were like, okay, at least it's on the list. And then we saw one that we really liked. We were like, okay, well that one's it's kind of in the middle, right? So we had at least 3 that were viable options, so we felt pretty good. And then the last one that we had really liked just from the photos and from the listing online, we were able to get into on Friday. And we looked at it and we really, really liked it. It seemed like it had all of the things that we needed. It's a very nice size. It is a bigger house than our house right now. Has a fully finished basement, so the kids have a nice place to play. Has 2 wood stoves. One's a pellet stove and one is a regular wood stove, and they're like hooked into the passive ducts so that you can get heat from them if you want to. And it also has oil heating, which, I'm not super keen on, but it seems like that's fairly common in Connecticut. And yeah, it's great. So it has a separate, it has a bedroom on the main floor, but it's kind of small for a bedroom, so I'm actually going to use that for my office and craft room. And then it has a living room, like a formal living room, and then also a family room. So the formal living room, we don't really know what to do with that because we don't have a space like that right now. So what I think I'm going to do is make that into my craft room. So I will have the office, and that will probably have my desk and my sewing machine and stuff. But then I'll have the other space that'll be more like shelving for my yarn. It'll have the purple couch will be in there because it won't fit in the family room. And then I may try to set up like a cutting table there. It may be a fold-up table that isn't out all the time. I don't know yet. But something so I don't have to lay out my patterns on the floor, and I'll be able to be up at a normal height for cutting. So yeah, I think it'll be really great. It has 3 bathrooms, 2 full baths, 1 half bath. There's one in the basement is a full bath. The main floor is a half bath, and then the top floor, which has all the bedrooms, so our bedroom will be on the same floor as the kids, has a full bath as well. And the kids' bedrooms are a pretty good size. They're just slightly smaller than the master bedroom. The master bedroom does not have its own bathroom. The one bathroom is shared by everyone, but honestly, that's how our house is right now, because the bathroom that you have to go through our bedroom to get to is actually the only one on the main floor, so everybody just walks through our bedroom. So it will be a great improvement to not have that happen. The kitchen is really great. It's a nice size. All of the appliances are updated. So we did make an offer. They countered. We countered. We got to a place where we feel good. So we're just now waiting for the inspections to happen. So the inspection on the house here happens on Monday. Our inspection there happens on Wednesday and Thursday, because we have to have a separate one for our septic system. So it does have well and septic, which we've never had before, but again, lots of people have it. It should be fine. It's about a 5-minute drive from a lake. So we're very, very excited about that for the kids. And for us, you know, it'd be nice to go to the lake. And I think it's about 35 minutes to the ocean, to the beach. So the kids went to the beach with my husband and collected shells, and they had a ton of fun. They loved swimming at the pool, at the hotel, and really for how long the drive was, they were pretty well behaved. We had one meltdown with Joshua where he was like throwing things from the back. That was fun. So I had to try and like quickly grab things from him and take them. And we had a caterpillar that had gone into chrysalis stage. And we knew that like it's a 7 to 10 day window, so it could have hatched sometime when we were gone, and we didn't want that to happen and then it would die in its little enclosure. So we took it with us, and it actually emerged on the way home from Connecticut. We had brought the butterfly container, like it's a net thing that expands up. So we got her into that, and she just kind of hung out there in the front with me till we got home, and we released her the next day. So I did take some video of that. I took a picture of her that I posted on Instagram, and she is now free and in the wild in Ohio. It was a painted lady butterfly. And so yeah, our closing should work out. There was a lot of back and forth on that. But they are able to meet our closing date, so we should be there by the end of June, which is really good. So that'll be nice for me to not have to keep traveling back and forth, because that gets old after a while. There's no direct flights, so it takes about 6 to 8 hours of travel time to actually get there, even though it is not super far, because I have to fly to somewhere like Chicago or Charlotte, North Carolina, or Atlanta, Georgia, and then fly to Connecticut. So it's very weird, and I will be happy to be done with that. But I do really enjoy my new job. I'm learning so much every single day, which is awesome. I love to learn new things, and even though some days it feels like I'm kind of drinking from the fire hose, I feel really valued and happy. My boss is really great. He's so smart and very willing to share his knowledge with me, which is great. And I'm getting to be part of more strategic conversations, which I wanted as well. So I wanted to grow in those areas, and I feel like I really am getting a chance to do that. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it. It was a good move. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have to tell you guys about the move stuff. So like I said, I will try to put together, string together those different videos that I took, and yeah, you're welcome to check that out if you're interested, and if not, that's okay too. So until next time, take some time to do the things that you love, and I will talk to you soon. All right, bye-bye.